Hello, everybody. My name is D.Lisa West, and I'm a dream doula.
And I'm Christina Spatara. I'm a psychotherapist and relationship coach.
And even though every week at the same time I talk with Christina and we record this podcast, today I was just thinking about something. I was recording a meditation. I was not using my time
Mhm.
in a manageable way. So let's talk about time management and what that is all about.
Well, we talk about managing our time, when we think about it, we're actually imposing a structure on something that if we just were left to our own devices would be more fluid. Especially,
Mm,
I always go back to children. Do you ever watch children when they're playing? And how
yeah.
they just get in that moment, they're in that zone. They're not worried if they've been doing a particular thing 5 minutes, 10 minutes, and then the minute that thing no longer interests them, they're on to the next thing. So,
Yeah, and I just heard something else about that idea, the idea that when you get into a flow state and
mhm,
you're doing
mhm,
something you really love. I heard this concept last night and I love it, whether it's true or
mhm,
not, that if it seems like in real time and clock time,
mhm.
4 hours went by, but it seemed like 20 minutes,
Yep,
this person said you only just lived 20 minutes. So that's why you could be more youthful if you're spend more time in the zone of doing what you truly love.
I love that.
I do too.
I
Whether or not
really,
it's true, I
yeah.
love that idea because don't you know people who are just like children?
Mhm.
They're playing with something that they love to do, or
Yeah.
maybe it's their career, maybe they're creatives. And when they're done, they're excited, they're lit up, their energy is palpable.
Yes, very much so. You can feel
Unlike
it.
people who
Feel it.
say, oops, I missed that appointment. I totally forgot about it. Uh, when I was younger, I had a lot of
Mhm,
responsibilities. I had two little kids.
mhm,
I was a working mom. I had to drive all around town, showing real estate and
mhm.
meeting with people, and I had to know what was going on every minute of the day. And then somewhere in
Sure.
there, we went from having paper calendars to using our phones as
Mm,
calendars.
mhm.
And I still love to write things down.
Me too.
Um, so how do you help people that have time management issues?
Mhm. Honestly, for a lot of it comes down to imposing a schedule.
Hmm.
Because what happens when, especially when I've got a lot of clients who have attention deficit disorder, where your executive functioning is having an issue, and it also your dopamine receptors are affected too. So not only you have a hard time organizing, but then on top of that, you don't have the proper reward system in place. So because chemically that's not working for you, you actually have to impose the structure.
Mm.
And in many ways, I also teach them to go with what their brain can handle. For instance, and it's not new, we've talked about the idea of, chunking different activities, like 10 to 15-minute chunks. So if your mind is going to wander after 10 to 15 minutes, don't force it to pay attention for 45. You're not only going to lose that battle, your mind is going to wander, then you're going to lose motivation to even go back to it, where you kind of are working with what you got. You do that, stop, move on to the next thing, but you take breaks in between.
Oh, so that goes counter to the concept that I heard maybe 15, 20 years ago, which was if you're doing a task and
Right.
you get interrupted, it takes you
Mm-hmm.
20 minutes to get back into the mindset of
Mm-hmm.
that task you were just doing.
Mm-hmm.
So if it takes 20 minutes to get in, but you only have a 10-minute attention span, how do you get
Right.
back in?
Well, this is why it's going to take you time to get back in, because the problem is, if you're now, you could potentially you got to work with what your brain can handle. Now,
Mm,
if you can attend for 20 minutes and they can be productive 20 minutes, then do that. But for a lot of people who struggle with ADHD, you really only got a 10 to 15-minute productive window. And your mind is going to wander. So it's almost like you're doing what you have to do, and then you're giving your mind permission to wander.
Oh, okay. So that's how you help people with ADHD. It's like
Yes.
work for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. When your mind wanders, go do something
Yeah.
else, then come
Yeah.
back.
Exactly.
So maybe what do they do? Take a walk? Do the
Take a
dishes?
walk. Exactly. Take a walk, look out the window, give your mind the mental break.
Mm, that's so beautiful. And then I suppose, yeah, I have tried for years, what's the perfect calendar to buy? I keep buying
Mhm.
paper calendars thinking I'm going to write in them.
Mhm.
And then what I end up doing is I write in them as journals later. So
Mhm.
they become my dream journal by my bedside. And I just
Mhm.
write over the dates because it's last year's journal that I never wrote the dates in. But I'm sure that everyone would find a way that works for them, either
Mhm.
digitally or on
Right.
paper, to write down all the appointments and the tasks that they have agreed to do.
Yes. I mean, writing it down is a big thing because it's very easy to forget stuff, especially when you're coming to time management. And also, sometimes for them, it's even easier maybe to have different color codes or pages, because if it's just a giant list of things, that can be very daunting. So you'd want to
Yeah.
separate it out in a way so you're just focusing on that particular thing you're going to do in that moment.
Well, years ago, before I started writing things down in a calendar, I didn't have too many things to do every day. So I
Mm-hmm.
would just remember what I was
Mm-hmm.
supposed to do that day. And one day I forgot that my friends were getting married.
Wow. Okay.
And there was an intimate dinner party for 10, and I didn't go
Okay.
because halfway through the afternoon, I'm like, is that something? Should I? Oh, yeah, they're getting married
Just
right now. And I looked
totally
at the
gone.
clock. I looked at the clock and it was like halfway through the dinner party hour. And I thought, I can't.
Wow.
I wasn't dressed for a party. I didn't go across town. And forevermore, those friends of mine say, yeah, remember when you forgot to come to our wedding? Yes.
They never
And
let you live it down.
that was the week that I went out and bought a paper calendar that I could write down things in. Now, that's also good if you write
Mhm.
things down or if you have them in
Yeah.
a digital format, but you also need to look at it.
Yes, you do need to look at it. Absolutely.
So your ADHD people, do you suggest that every morning they have a routine and they look at their calendar or what?
So I do suggest, so here's the thing for people who are not familiar, people with ADHD, it's an impairment of your executive functioning. And as I describe it, think of like the CEO of a company. You have all these different divisions, and the CEO basically tells each division when this project's due, when that project's due, when to do this. So, a person with ADHD, your CEO is taking a nap in the office. So, you have all these wonderful, creative, intelligent people, because ADHD people can be some of the most intelligent people you're ever going to meet, but their CEO is taking a nap. So, everybody does, so this one wants to do this one do that. No, there's no organization. So you need to impose an organization because you don't have a natural one. So this is the thing. This is where neurodiversity comes in, because not everybody is the same. Like when you have read that study where if you get out of something, it takes you it takes you 20 minutes to get back in. That's assuming somebody has the ability to get completely in that zone and their mind will not wander. But if your
Yes.
mind is going to wander, rather than force it, you've got to work with what you got.
And I think there's more and more studies and more opportunities to just say these days,
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to 20 years ago, I'm
Right.
neurodiverse.
Yes,
Because when I
definitely.
was a kid, if you were neurodiverse, you probably needed some kind of medical care. It wasn't
Mm-hmm.
just,
Mm-hmm.
it wasn't a superpower back
Right.
then. It was like, there's something wrong with you. You can't sit still in school. You can't read
Exactly.
the book. You can't do the arithmetic.
Hmm.
You can't do and I think now maybe we're just more aware of it, but it seems like there are more and more and more people who are embracing the fact that they are neurodiverse.
Which I think is wonderful. Oh my gosh, I love that. I love that we're embracing that uniqueness.
And most people who are super creative, which is one of my passions, is, the
Hmm.
creative world and
Hmm.
creatives themselves. Probably quite a lot of us are ADHD people or
Hmm.
neurodiverse in some other way.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so if you're listening and you think maybe you had an appointment today that you might have missed, I suggest you get your calendar out and look.
And take a look.
Uh, Take a look, or possibly in the morning, have that as part of your routine.
Yes, I would suggest.
Uh,
Good idea.
the morning routine might, because for me, my morning routine is I get up, I do a
Hmm.
yoga meditation, I write in
Hmm.
my 3 pages of morning pages, I write
Hmm.
in another journal, and then I start my day. But today, did I read through what my appointments were? No, I just remembered the very next appointment and did that.
Hmm.
And then squirrel, I started doing something completely different because I was doing a meditation recording, thinking, how does my voice sound when I'm doing this
Hmm.
recording? Oh, sounds good. Start over. Start over. Start over. So that's where my mind was at when it was time for us to meet. And thank you for reminding me.
You are very welcome. And thank you, as always, for having me here. And for those watching and listening, thank you so much for giving us your time.
Your
Because,
time and attention, even if it's
yes,
only for 10 minutes at a time.
we appreciate you because we know that's not easy.
Right on. Thank you again, Christina, for being here. I appreciate you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Appreciate you too. Bye bye.